Really. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. If you've seen one of my older videos, I did a video kind of like what we're going to do today, where I left 5 items inside of Coke for 90 days. Except for now, we're going to use Drano, and we're still going to use mason jars. And we're going to leave things inside of Drano for 1 month and see how the Drano affects our items that we put in these jars. So let's see what kind of items we have. First we have this kind of just a long, thick, like marine rope. Next we have just an old leather belt. It'll be really interesting to see how the Drano affects leather. I don't know that it will at all, or it might dissolve it. So that'll be pretty interesting. Next we have, just for fun, and I know it's going to stink whenever I take them out of the jar, but Clementines. I know these are just going to turn into a nasty stink. Next we have some aluminum foil, which I'm pretty sure is going to dissolve. At least I hope so. And for our last item, that is going to be hair. Now, I'm pretty sure I know where I can get some hair. The things I do for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, now we have our jar of hair. And I'm pretty sure the Drano will dissolve the hair, because that is the one thing that Drano is known to clear out of drains, is hair. So it'll be interesting to see how it reacts in a jar full of hair. So let's get started putting all of our items inside of our jars and get them filled up with Drano. Alright guys, as you can see, all 5 items are in their jars, full of Drano. Now the only thing left for us to do is to just wait for 1 month and come back and see what happens. So right after I filmed that last clip, I noticed this is the jar with the belt in it. And this has only been in here for probably about 10 minutes at this point. And you can tell it looks like it's already starting to dissolve, or I'm not sure exactly what's happening to it, but you can see it has like this like spider web consistency coming off of it, and it's all frothy up here at the top. And it's got like, I don't even know what's going on. It's like starting to break it down, I guess. For only being in there 10 minutes so far, that's pretty crazy. I'm curious to see how it's going to be in 30 days. All right, it has been exactly 1 month since we put all 5 of those items into the Drano. So let's put on some gloves. Let's see how the Drano has affected our items. So the first one that we're going to put in here, or that we're going to open up, is going to be our piece of rope. Now I'm really curious to see how the Drano has affected this piece of rope, because as you can see, the Drano is still completely clear and it doesn't look like it's had much of an effect. And you'll see why that's surprising whenever you see the other items. Alright, let's just fish this out of here. Well, so far, I mean, it just smells like Drano. Doesn't seem like the Drano has really had much of an effect. Honestly, it doesn't feel like it's broke it down any. It's not discolored. Nothing really weird has happened. And there's even this end right here that was all frayed up, that it doesn't look like any of that's been, like, doesn't look like the Drano's been able to dissolve this or do anything to the rope. So honestly, that's kind of what I expected from the rope. I didn't think the Drano would do a whole lot to it. So let's move on to our next item. And for our next item, we're going to be taking a look at the hair, which is actually surprising that it wasn't dissolved. I really thought that the hair would be dissolved. And it really doesn't smell that bad either. So that's kind of surprising. Wow. You can see there that the hair, it's not even dissolved. It's just like, I mean, some of it might be a little bit dissolved, but it just looks like hair that was in Drano. I really thought that Drano was supposed to dissolve hair. Or maybe it just loosens it up in the pipes so that it can be washed out. Well, no. Doesn't seem like it's even weakened it. Huh. Well, that's honestly very surprising. I wouldn't have thought that. I thought it would be completely dissolved. So let's move on to our next item, and that is going to be the leather belt. And if you recall from the beginning, whenever I first put it in here, within like a couple seconds or a couple minutes of putting it in there, it was already had like this like spider web type of like weird film growing on it. And I know you can't tell, but I left the lid a little bit loose on the jars, so that way in case any pressure built up, it wouldn't like explode or do anything. And the Drano actually overflowed out of the one with the belt several times. So it was definitely doing something. So oh wow. I have to dump all this out first. Oh. Ew. There's chunks of something. Oh. Oh. Ooh. That's gross. Oh. I don't know what it did to it. It definitely like ate like a layer off of it or something, because there's like a milky substance on it. I don't know if it like weakened it. It doesn't feel like it. I mean, it still feels extremely strong. It's definitely not brittle. Oh, that's disgusting. I was hoping that it was going to be like dissolved into a few different pieces or something, but I guess not. So it definitely ate like a layer off of the leather or something. So that's pretty cool. This is the one I was the most hopeful for, to have something like catastrophic happen to it. I was hoping it would really be dissolved or something. And surprisingly, it really doesn't even smell. There's almost no smell to it. It just kind of, as gross as this sounds, it kind of has a chocolatey smell. Like it doesn't smell like you'd think that a rotting piece of leather or whatever would have. It really just has kind of a chocolatey smell, and it doesn't really, it doesn't smell bad. I really figured it would. So let's move on to the next thing. And our next item is going to be the aluminum foil, which also looks like it has a very weird result. And you can tell, kind of on this one, you can tell that it was overflowing on this one at one point. Ooh. Oh, it looks like it's... Oh. It's kind of like dissolved into a... Oh. It's almost like broken glass. Or like a really coarse sand, maybe? That's really interesting. Yeah, it's just like just a super coarse, like, it's kind of, I think it's kind of dissolved a lot of it down, because I feel like I put more aluminum foil in there than this. Wow. Yeah, it's just, I think it's dissolved it, and then this is what's left after it dissolved what it could. Because it's just really broke down, and it's just like broken glass, or just really, really coarse sand, or like seashells, and crushed them up. That's kind of the texture that it reminds me of. That is really interesting. So let's move on to our next item. And last but not least, the one that I am really not excited for, and I'm really going to be surprised if it doesn't just absolutely stink. The oranges. That has this like layer of just like white, like milky looking stuff that what I can only assume is mold, although I don't know if it'll even mold when it's soaking in Drano or whatever. And you can see down here on the bottom, there's a whole layer of this white milkiness, whatever that is. So let's go ahead and get this over with. Let's see if we can just get one of these out of there. Oh. Ugh. Oh. Oh, this one seems like a good one. Oh, wow. I don't know what that's done to it. You can see that layer that it's put on there. Like half of this this one was on top, so half of it was in the Drano and half of it wasn't. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know what this is. I think it's just where it was like starting to dissolve, where the Drano was just starting to dissolve it or whatever. Yeah, let's open it up. Wow, it really doesn't look bad inside. And again, it doesn't stink. It honestly, this one kind of has a chocolatey smell to it too. Like, maybe like a, that is so strange. I don't know why it does that. But that definitely has like a chocolatey smell to it. I really thought that these would have molded or been dissolved or at least smell really bad or something. But no, there's nothing. These kind of smell like chocolate and they're not dissolved. So that's another interesting result. All right, well, seems like we got some pretty interesting results for leaving things in Drano for 30 days. If there's anything else that you want to see me leave inside of something else for a certain amount of time, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.